What's up, you guys? Brandosaurus Rex here, and today we're going to be doing a review on the NECA 1994 Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla figure. It has such a long name, but a great figure. So I do not have the box, but I will pull up an image from Google and put it here. Bang! There we go. So there's the box. Looks pretty cool. Window display with a cool photo of Godzilla on it. Yada yada yada. Moving on. So for accessories, Godzilla comes with absolutely nothing, and I'm pretty much fine with that, seeing how I have a 1,000 different atomic breath sets all over my room, and I don't feel like this figure needs one. It's a great standalone figure. It's just a Godzilla, all it needs to be, but it should be at the same time. But if you are curious, the atomic breaths that come with the SH Monsters line do work with this figure kind of well. So for Sculpt and Paint apps, I wanted to take a look at the dorsal plates on this figure, and I gotta give this figure a very solid yes. Thank God they got this right, because on the 95 figure, they butchered, and I mean butchered, the dorsal plates. These dorsal plates are beautiful. They're beautifully done. Great job, NECA. You did a great job on this one. I don't know what the hell happened on that 85 figure. So here we have the head sculpt, and my, this head sculpt has been done very, very well. I think NECA does a great job on working the fine details of the head sculpt, but the rest of the bodies of these Godzillas are kind of thrown to the imagination of the sculptor, if that makes some kind of sense to you. The head sculpt is pretty spot on to the high side look, but the face is not wide enough, in my opinion, to scream Godzilla to me. I think this face is very narrow and thin. It does work for this figure, but I do think that a little bit more width would have made this figure a perfect 10 out of 10 for me. One thing I do want to kind of not complain necessarily about, but kind of make note, I do not like the way the neck looks. I do not like the sleeve. I do like the idea of hiding ball pegs with sleeves for the SH Monsters line, and I like that they try to do their own interpretation of that with the neck, but I do not like how bulky the neck came out. The neck looks so big that the head looks smaller in comparison, and I'm not a big fan of that. So for articulation, Godzilla has a great range of articulation. Starting at the head, he can look left and right, open and close at the mouth. He can swivel at the base of the neck, which is really cool. I like how you can kind of get movement out of it, unlike some other figures in the NECA line, from the Godzilla NECA line. Then his arms do rotate 360 degrees, also at the bicep, which I don't see the point of all three of these points, because this swivels, alright, so you get a great range. Then this swivels with a great range, and then you can swivel it at the forearm for some great range. It just doesn't necessarily make sense to me. Then he also has a swivel at the hands. He has finger articulation, which is interesting, but I don't necessarily like it, because once you close it, it just looks weird. But I feel like opening up the hands makes them look more ferocious, if that makes sense. Also, he can swivel at the waist, which is great. A great range of motion, 360 degrees. He also rotates at the upper thigh, which is great. Has a great range of motion. You can poke it in and out, like the 2014 Godzilla. He also has a knee swivel combo, so you can rotate this around, and so you can swivel this around and bend the knee. And also he has a semi-decent range of motion in the foot. Moving on to the back, there are no gaps in the spines, and you have one swivel, 2, 3. Moving on to the bending wire, which I am not a fan of, to be honest with you, but it is a very long tail that he has, which makes up for the bending wire. I would take a long tail over a stubby short one any day. Size comparison, here we have Godzilla 94 compared to Godzilla 85, and you could see that they're kind of exactly the same size, which is great. I see nothing wrong with it. I know that the 94 is supposed to be taller than the 85. I don't really give a crap because NECA's figures in the Godzilla line, they're all pretty much the same height besides the 2014, which is shorter, which I don't get. How are they even trying to put these in a scale together? So here we have two high-side Godzillas standing right next to each other, and you could see that they are roughly about the same size. I think the high-side Godzilla looks slightly shorter on camera, but they are exactly the same size. I guarantee that for you. They're the same size. There's nothing else I could really say about it besides they're the same size. I do still believe in my heart of hearts that the SH Monster Arts is a better made figure, but I do respect NECA with their interpretation of the high-side Godzilla. I do like this figure. And last but certainly not least, here we have Godzilla 94 compared to his child Godzilla Jr. And you can see that these work in pretty good scale together. I think Godzilla Jr. was supposed to be half the height of Godzilla, and that's pretty much what it is right here. So for my final thoughts, get the figure. There's nothing really wrong with this figure necessarily besides the few minor things that I may have pointed out. I do like this figure a lot more than the 85 Godzilla, if that makes sense. I don't necessarily think that this is the figure for me. I do not wish to buy it, but it has grown on me over time. I do find myself liking it more and more, but I do not see myself buying this figure. It is a good figure for those of you who cannot afford SH Monster Arts. I can tell you that much. Take that as what you will. Buy it, don't buy it. So with that being said, make sure to check out Never Falter Films. They, as always, created the end slate for this video, and they're a big supporter of the Brandosaurus Rex brand, so go check them out. Come join us on the a.c.b.a. Facebook page. Come join us on the group. Go like the like page, all that good stuff. And also check me out on Facebook, add me on Instagram, all that stuff. All the links to that will be down below. And make sure to click more videos by clicking the annotations on the end slate that Never Falter Films made me. So with that being said, I'll check you nerds out next time. Peace!